fall of the Silent King's Pact, a tale of betrayal and shattered gods. In the beginning there was silence, and in that silence there was obedience. But even silence has its breaking point. Long ago, when the stars burned brighter, the Necrontyr had shackled themselves to the might of star gods, the Catan. In their desperation to end the war in heaven, the Silent King Szarekh bound his people in a pact of eternal servitude. Their flesh was cast aside, replaced by bodies of living metal, and in exchange they were granted power beyond imagining. The pact was sealed in sorrow, but accepted in necessity, and with it the Necrons struck down the Old Ones. Their gods feasted on suns, consumed the energies of creation itself, and for a time victory seemed assured. But as the centuries bled into millennia, the truth became undeniable. The Catan were not saviors. They were predators. They consumed not only the enemies of the Necrontyr, but the Necrons themselves. Whole dynasties were offered as sacrifices. Planets were stripped bare, not by war, but by the insatiable hunger of gods who saw mortals only as cattle. Szarekh watched in silence, a silence deeper than his name, heavier than his crown. He had bargained for survival, but had bought enslavement. And so the Silent King broke his silence. He summoned the Pharaons, lords of every dynasty, to a hidden conclave on the lightless world of Nyras. There, amidst monuments of black stone carved to ward off even the gaze of the Catan, he spoke words forbidden for millennia. "We are not their subjects. We are their jailers. We are their executioners." The Necrons listened in stillness, for though their bodies were metal, their hatred was alive. Together they forged a pact, not of servitude, but of betrayal. And the stars trembled. For when the day came, the Catan did not face slaves, but executioners. Necron legions turned their weapons not on the Eldor nor the Orcs, but on their so-called gods. Tesseract labyrinths were unleashed, arcane prisons designed to shatter beings of infinite power. Reality screamed as shards of starflesh were torn apart. The Catan, who had devoured suns, found themselves feasted on by the very mortals that they had enslaved. The betrayal was absolute. The gods were broken, and their fragments chained in weapons of terrible might, or sealed in tombs to fuel dynasties for all eternity. The Silent King's pact had fallen. His people were free. But freedom carried a shadow. The Old Ones were gone, the galaxy lay in ruin, and the Necrons themselves were broken by endless war. Szarekh, haunted by the horror of what he had unleashed, gave one final decree: that the Necrons would enter the Great Sleep, entombed in silence once more, until the galaxy was ready for their return. And then he left, into the void, beyond the stars, never to see his people again. The Catan was shattered, the Necrons slumbered, the galaxy fell into new hands. But the tale remains, the tale of the day silence became rebellion, the day the gods bled upon the anvil of betrayal, the day the Silent King's pact was broken. For in silence there is obedience, until silence becomes the roar of vengeance.